Imagine this. You wake up one day, rub the sleep out of your nuts, and boom, you suddenly have a stepsister. Sounds cute, right? Until you realize she's not just cute. She's dangerously anime cute. The kind of cute that makes you question if you're living in a rom-com and something is about to happen in two of you. See, Japan has this obsession with turning family reunions into forbidden romances, and in this manga, that's what happened to our poor protagonist. Dude signs up for college thinking his biggest problem will be overpriced textbooks, but instead he walks straight into the world of cute stepsisters with big melons. And these girls? They don't act like sisters. They act like the type of neighbors you only meet in late-night Japanese cinema. This is the story called The Three Beautiful Sisters Rumored Since College Entrance Were Actually My Long-Lost Stepsisters, where the sisters are annoying. One's shy and blushing, one's teasing and throwing her chest around like it's a Pokemon battle.
Pokeball, go!
And the other, way too comfortable rolling around on his bed. And Yuto's just sitting there like, yeah, this definitely isn't what Dad meant when he said, take care of your sisters. Yamashita Yuto was really glad that he would be attending the prestigious Kyushu University the following year, but he soon grew annoyed with the monotonous routine of daily life. The boy sitting next to him suddenly began talking about wanting a younger brother or sister, as if it were something that could happen effortlessly without going through 9 months of pregnancy. He said that his parents would work hard to make it possible if he passed the test, but in the end, they had just dismissed him, saying they were too old for it. The boy felt a twinge of jealousy upon hearing that Yuto had a little sister. He guessed that the boy might have assumed Yuto had one as well. Yuto recalled that they had been separated when their parents divorced during their childhood. The boy was shocked to learn that Yuto didn't met his sister since long. Yuto explained that it had been 15 years since he had last seen her, and that technically she was his stepsister due to his parents' remarriages, which made things complicated. He decided not to reveal this information at the time. He speculated that his sister might even be in college first year now, since she was a year younger than him, to which the boy wondered if she could be one of the super cute triplets who had enrolled that year. This reminded him that his stepsister was indeed like those 3 sisters. His friend was astonished that Yuto had 3 sisters, and it's like his father must have worked so hard with his mother. The boy even said that Yuto seemed to be living his dream life. Afterward, the boy suggested going to the cafeteria for lunch, but Yuto apologized, saying he would just grab something quickly as he had to go for work. He left, wondering whether his stepsisters were in college by now. He then thought about their names: Mashiro, the eldest, Miyu, the second, and Kokona, the youngest. He wondered how his 3 sisters might look now. Just then, he noticed a girl near the school map and wondered if she was someone's younger sister who had come to deliver lunch but had gotten lost. As he approached her, she turned around with a charming expression, and he wondered if she was looking for something. She confirmed that she had just started at the school and didn't know where room C23 was. Yuto pointed her toward the building and realized that she was not a middle schooler but a new college freshman. He noted that the campus alleys were so large that it was easy to get lost. The girl became a little emotional, saying that she had been wandering around for 20 to 30 minutes. Yuto decided to help her himself, wanting to appear cool in front of her. She thanked him and admitted that it was very difficult for her to talk to strangers, so his help meant a lot. Even though it was their first meeting, she felt very comfortable talking to him. Yuto felt the same way, and both of them shared a sense of ease and mutual understanding in their minds. He took her to class C23, and as he was leaving, she called out to ask his name, but he had to leave for shopping. At the shopping center, he remembered that he needed to buy some bread, which had recently become very popular and was hard to find. When he arrived, he saw that only the last packet was left. As he reached for it, a girl also approached, intending to take it. Yuto immediately refused and told her to have it instead. In response, the girl insisted that he take it. He sensed the same playful vibe from her as he had with the girl he met at school and thought she was really cute. They started playfully arguing over the bread. Yuto then paused and asked if she was a freshman. She clarified that she was a senior, an upperclassman, which made Yuto agree to take the bread. Afterward, the girl left. Yuto paid for the bread and asked the shop attendant to split it into 2 bags. As the girl was walking away, he called out to her and handed 1/2 as a thank you for her kindness. She was struck by his thoughtfulness, thinking to herself how unexpectedly kind he had been. At the workplace, Yuto was exhausted from the work. and his mind urged him to take a break. Just then, someone told him it's time for break, so he thanked the person. He was searching a place for rest because staff room was busy, as the manager was in the staff room. Just then, a customer approached him, wondering if he worked there, and asked if he was looking for a seat. Yuto noticed her attractive figure, which he thought could easily draw anyone's attention. He explained that the staff room was busy and there was no available seat. She then offered him the seat in front of her, saying she didn't mind if he took it. As he began his meal, he kept glancing at the work she was doing, but she misinterpreted it, thinking he was staring at her body. He asked her to just show him the textbook, and then he solved the problem for her. She was impressed by how effortlessly he did it, noting that he seemed so experienced. She even suggested that he must be a college student attending a top-tier university. Yuto denied this, pointing out that the books she was using were advanced textbooks. She then explained that she had both an older sister and a younger sister who were very smart, and ever since she was little, she had to study on her own to keep up with them. Yuto appreciated her, and then they both began studying together as if they had known each other for a long time. Later, when she was leaving, she thanked him for helping her with the questions. It felt to her as though he had done something that touched her heart, so she held his hand. He even felt a faint sensation when his elbow brushed against her body. The girl confessed that she might be falling for him, which made him feel embarrassed, so she let go and left. Yuto then offered to make her tea next time, which seemed almost like asking her on a date. She refused, saying that he had already helped her enough with her studies. Yuto mentioned that he had really enjoyed spending time with her, and she agreed with a blush before leaving. That night, when Yuto returned home, he realized he was completely alone, as though he had no relationship to lean on. He got to prepare something to eat, and thought about how cute and kind all three girls were. Remembering them, as well as his three sisters, he then received a call from his father. His father spoke about Yuto's sisters, asking if he remembered the ones he had lived with for only a year. Yuto confirmed that he did. His father revealed that all three sisters had also enrolled in the same university as him, and if they ever faced any trouble, he wanted Yuto to help them too. Yuto was surprised because, even though his father said so, he hadn't seen his sisters for a long time and no longer knew how they looked. His father told him to arrange a meeting with them and gave him the location of their family restaurant, set for 5 days later. After saying that, he ended the call without even asking how Yuto was doing. 5 days later, Yuto went to the family restaurant. When a waitress asked how many people were in his party, he replied that it was a group of 4, explaining that they were supposed to meet there and that the others might already have arrived. She agreed and told him to follow her. As Yuto walked in, he saw the 3 girls he had met 5 days earlier, one at his school, another at his workplace, and the third in the grocery store. He was shocked to discover that they all knew each other. The girl he had met at his workplace revealed that the 3 of them were actually sisters. Yuto was stunned to hear this. One of them then teased him, wondering if he was on a date, since he was dressed so nicely. Yuto explained that he had an important meeting. They were surprised because they also had the same reason, and all of them were dressed up in a way that made them look strikingly attractive. The mid one suggested that they leave the matter at that, since both sides had their own obligations, while the eldest asked Yuto to treat them kindly the next time they met. Yuto looked around at the other seats and then fixed his gaze on the 3 sisters, which made them wonder if something was wrong with him. He asked if that was the place where Mashiro, Miyu, and Kokono were sitting. They confirmed it, but with hesitation, they asked how he knew their names. Yuto blushed as he realized they were his sisters and told them that it had been over a decade since they had last met. All 3 of them were equally shocked to hear this. Blushing, Yuto said that it had been a long time since they had met and revealed that he was their brother. They accepted it, but Miyu remarked that she couldn't believe he would say they hadn't met in years when they had only seen each other a few days ago. She admitted she never expected him to be her brother. The other 2 also recalled where they had encountered him, and everything suddenly felt unexpectedly different. Yuto thought to himself that it truly had been so many years since he last saw them that he could no longer tell who was Mashiro, Miyu, or Kokono. They then introduced themselves properly. While Mashiro, the shortest one, was eating, Kokono pointed out that she shouldn't eat like a child, even though she still looked like one. Miyu teased Mashiro, saying that her eating so much was clearly showing in her body. Mashiro shouted in protest, saying it wasn't true, and scolded her for saying such embarrassing things in front of their brother. Yuto thought in that moment that they were exactly as he remembered them. Miyu still cheerful and outgoing, Kokono still quiet and calm, and Mashiro still the one keeping the other two in check. Mashiro then turned to Yuto and asked if she really looked childish. He agreed, but explained it was only because of her height. He added that while she might look a little young, her odd choice of clothing didn't make her seem even more childlike. Still, he reminded her that she was the responsible one who always managed to keep her sisters under control, just like before. The other two realized that Yuto had teased them effortlessly. Miyu asked what Yuto's plans were afterward, and when he revealed that he was completely free, she suggested they hang out longer. Yuto admitted he was hoping to spend more time with them anyway. Hearing this made them happy, and he asked where they wanted to go. Kokono mentioned that she wanted to see Yuto's house, and Miyu immediately grew excited about the idea as well.
Yuto was surprised, but when they noticed his hesitation, they told him it was fine if he didn't want them to visit and that they weren't trying to impose. He hesitated, but admitted that it wasn't impossible. Hearing that, all three of them became excited. Yuto took them to his house and wondered how it had ended up with them being so relaxed there. Kokono asked where the kitchen was, and Yuto, shocked, mentioned that she just ate in restaurants. Miyu searched under the bed and said it wasn't even there, which made Yuto wonder what she was looking for. Kokono lay down on the bed, saying it was really nice. Miyu teased Yuto, saying she was checking if there was any protection like he used with his girlfriend. Yuto, with a disappointed look, replied that he didn't have a girlfriend. They remarked that the room was really cool and said that if he wasn't bringing any girl there, it felt like they were following Mashiro's habits. Mashiro mentioned that she wasn't that popular. Kokono then asked if women wouldn't think Yuto had a girlfriend if he acted like that. Yuto thought they might be implying that the boy they were speaking of would become their brother-in-law, but he felt defenseless in a house full of the opposite gender he had just met. Miyu commented that the bed was really nice and asked Kokono to exchange places with her. As they kept arguing, Yuto repeated that he didn't have a girlfriend and wondered if their kind of talk wasn't a bit strange. Kokono and Miyu then started quarreling over the bed, leaving Yuto completely confused. Mashiro shouted at both of them, demanding to know what they were doing on someone else's bed and told them to get out of her way. Miyu mentioned that she had checked and confirmed that Yuto didn't have a girlfriend. Startled, Mashiro asked him if it was true. Yuto wondered whether they would hate him if he had a girlfriend. They agreed that they might be considerate of it, but it would still be unforgivable for them to visit his house. Kokono pointed out that it was because they were not related to him by blood, and Mashiro added that his girlfriend might get jealous of them. Yuto wondered why they thought so much about it. At that moment, Miyu, showing off her chest in a lewd manner, remarked that it was strange, but she was sure he sometimes looked at the opposite gender. Yuto told them to relax, explaining that he had never been popular anyway. Miyu then suddenly snapped, saying she didn't want to talk anymore, and noted that it seemed Mashiro's cooking was done, so they should go eat again. Yuto agreed, and as they all began eating, he reminded himself of his father's words, that he had to do his best to protect them all. At night, as they were leaving, Yuto wondered if it was really safe to let them go alone without him. They replied that it was totally fine since the station was nearby, and they asked him to take good care of them as a brother. Yuto blushed as he agreed, feeling as though he had been entrusted with guarding them like a knight. Yuto, feeling happy, told that they had finally reunited and that he wanted to set things right. Miyu agreed and suggested taking a picture together, so they took a selfie. She wondered if she could post it on Photosta and send it to Yuto later, asking when he would give her his contact information. Yuto agreed and they exchanged contacts. Yuto thought to himself that he hadn't realized how well known his sisters were and that he had been caught up in the incident because of that photo, though there had been no way for him to know. One day, when all three sisters were at home, Mashiro told her mother over a call that this was the reason she had been able to meet him and that he had been very kind to them. Suddenly, Mashiro mentioned that her mother had told her something, and she noticed that Miyu was asking Kokono whether she was trying to use a guy modeled after Yuto as someone else. Mashiro wondered what was wrong with them. Miyu was shocked and said that Kokono was trying to draw a man based on Yuto, but Mashiro denied it, explaining that Yuto didn't know they were illustrators. Kokono reassured them that it was fine since it wasn't a lewd scene and that she had simply crammed her ideas into it. After that, Miyu showed a picture of the four of them and said it was going viral crazily. The others were shocked, and everyone started asking who that person was and whether he was the boyfriend of one of them. The next day, as Yuto went to university, he noticed that everyone was talking about the photo of him with his sisters, assuming he was the boyfriend of one of them. Yuto felt terrible about the whole situation and left, muttering that he kept feeling like a monster. A boy approached him, greeting him with a "good morning," and remarked that Yuto had clearly had fun the previous day. Yuto wondered why the boy would say that, realizing the boy had just gone to see his sister for the first time in over a decade and hadn't thought it was any less than a date. Yuto was shocked and puzzled by this. The boy then showed him the photo of Yuto with his three sisters and loudly exclaimed, amazed at how Yuto seemed to be flirting with all three sisters he admired so much. He said it looked like Yuto had really enjoyed himself. Yuto tried to calm him down, explaining that it wasn't a date, they had simply been having fun together. The boy began crying and threatened that he would kick Yuto to death if he won't be the sister of all three. Yuto asked him to listen first, but when the boy continued charging toward him, he had no choice but to start running as the boy chased him, ready to kick him for real.